Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I am actually here at Rustlers Loop. This is a green trail, and the reason I want to ride this trail is because it's a good example of anybody could come ride here, and they actually have little skills features throughout this trail, and they sign them, explain to you how to do them, and so on. So if you're new to this kind of riding, you could come here, get warmed up, kind of get an idea of what riding in a place like this is like, and then go and start hitting, other green trail or blue trails, things like that. Here, there isn't like things like, hidden drops or really dangerous things. What makes the trails difficult are, sand, rocks, things like that you can easily stop and like walk over and then get going again. All right, I'm gonna go hit this loop. So I'd say this is my first real ride on the Japhy. I mean, I did ride that XL Energy mountain bike park, but you can't get more real than riding a place like this. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Wow. One thing I can guarantee if you ever come riding in a place like this is there's a lot of climbing. I just climbed this long trail just to get up here. So fitness is key. And they don't even allow e-bikes here, so don't think about it. There's a sign there talking about cornering. I'm not going to stop for that one, but it's look ahead. People tend to have this want to look down right at their front wheel or right in front of their front wheel. You don't want to do that. You want to look down ahead of you on the trail. Here's another tip. Walking, there's no shame in walking. That's another thing. Like, you don't have to ride everything. You can always get off and walk your bike. So since I talk about trail sustainability a lot, even here in Colorado, they have the same guidelines of don't ride wet trails, and if you're leaving tracks, turn back. Yep, it's very important for us to keep trails sustainable and last a long time. By the way, look at that view. What in the world? Love this place. So I initially had this fork set way too stiff. This is an MRP Raven. So I played around with it this morning to get into a little softer setting. I'm so glad, because all these little rocks and stuff, that little bit of kind of off the top plushness that it has, because it's got positive and negative air pressure, makes it really nice on the hands. All this little chattery stuff. So I'm glad I adjusted it. Now we're getting into some more flowy stuff. And wind. Here's another one that talks about riding dips. Like when you have dips in the trail, you want to get out of your saddle and stand. If you've been following my channel, I talk about the attack position, being comfortable riding out of the saddle. Well, this is why. You're going to have much more speed and momentum through these. And you can literally pump. They don't talk a lot about pumping here, but you can pump through little dips and rolls, which actually give you speed and keep your momentum up. So yeah, this is a good one. This is cool. I am on a hardtail, so I feel like Steve from Hardtail Party. All right, what's this next sign say? Passing. This is also really important. So when passing trail users, you don't want to go shooting off the trail. You want to stay on the trail. So super important. We talk about keeping single track single. People will tend to, when they pass, they'll go off way off the trail and ride in the vegetation. You don't want to do that, especially out here, because vegetation is very delicate and doesn't grow back very easily in a place like this. So stay on the trail. If you need to pass somebody, let them know. And then if you're being passed, same thing. Don't go shooting off the trail. Stay on the trail, move a little bit to the side. If you have to stop and dab your foot down, which is the best way to do it, do that. But don't go shooting off the trail to let somebody pass. Another good one, like park your bike and walk. Don't ride your bike to an overlook and cause additional erosion. Smart. And again, speaking of views, overlooks, dang, I just enjoy being out here. You know, a lot of times for me, this isn't about riding hard and going as fast as I can go and everything. It's about just chilling out, being outside, and just really enjoying this and making sure I have plenty of sunscreen on, because that sun is just beating straight down on me. This is why I like this loop, is because it's like the education loop. I think more trail systems should have something like this in their area, because it's pretty cool. It's a great place for new mountain bikers to kind of get an idea of what they should be doing. Because, you know, people when they're new to mountain biking, they don't necessarily know everything. S-turns, here's another one. Again, if you're looking ahead from that last one about corners, S-turns, you can hug the inside of your curve, shift your weight, all that stuff. Super cool. Like that. I'm stopping every few feet now, but this one's important. Notice it says use your legs as shock absorbers. You do not need a full suspension bike for most riding. If you get out of the saddle and in the attack position and allow your legs to absorb things, you'll be just fine. Speaking of views, what the heck? All right. You might see a lot of me being amazed at the views. Keep in mind, I live in Minnesota. Yes, I've been here before a few times, but every time I come here, it's just amazing. This is definitely a green trail. Like, it is super flowy, easy to ride. It's got a pretty good climb to get up here, so you have to be relatively fit. Oh, here's another one. River to, oh, that's just talking about the river. Okay, never mind. Not a skills thing. All these little baby heads. Glad I got my fork set up. Cliffs ahead, slow down. All right. I really like this sign. We shouldn't be skidding. We shouldn't be doing the little free ride whip thing with the back tire around all the corners, things like that. There are some trails you can do that, but when you're riding a trail like this, that sustainability is really important, and things don't recover out here as easily as you'd think. And when it rains, it hardcore downpours and will create ruts and stuff. So it's really important that you know how to use your front brake and not just lock up your back brake, things like that. You need to know which is your front brake. Your front brake on most bikes here in the United States is on your left. But make sure you know that, because there's other parts of the world, especially the UK, where they flip them, or if you ride motorcycles and stuff, you might flip your brakes. So the rear is on the left and the front is on the right. But regardless of what it is, most bikes, the front is on the left, rear is on the right. But you want to know how to use it, and the front brake will prevent you from just locking up and skidding your back wheel all the time. You can ride your front brake. That's 80% of your stopping power, or even more sometimes. So yeah, this one's important. Try not to skid and slide around on trails if you can avoid it. Now we're gonna get into some downhill. A little bit anyway. So I just talked about using the brakes and not sliding, and that's really important here. Controlling your speed. Looking ahead helps you do that, because you know it's coming and you don't have surprises. Now I really do feel like Steve from Hardtail Party. Switchbacks. That was the next sign, but I'm not gonna stop. Here we go. Nice switchback. I start wide and then come in. That's the way I take switchbacks. If you come too tight on the inside, then you get sent to the outside of switchback. I don't like that. Let's go up here. Cool. Take the harder line. Sweet. Another good sign. Yeah. So it talks about how it could take up to 25 years to recover. That's why a place like this, everything's really delicate. And so you don't want to just go trashing the environment around the trail. Looks like some people already did. Kind of weird, right? Like, don't just make your own line. Stay on the trail. Trail's over here. I feel like these knobby neck tires are mostly designed for kind of like loose dirt. But because they have dual compound, I guess they call it addicts or something like that, they stick pretty good to the rocks, believe it or not. This isn't really a bike review ride, but this is my first time on my Japhy on some serious riding, so I will make comments about it. Look at these rocks. This is so cool. And on those edges. Here's some, oh, I'm supposed to go up that way. I'm totally looking the wrong direction. There is a trail line that used to go that way. I'm gonna try this again. So this is a really good place to talk about line choice. So if you're coming up here, you see all that, and I chose to go that way mostly because I came over here and I saw that trail, and maybe it's no longer a trail anymore because I see that kind of wall of rocks there. So I wasn't even looking, I was looking ahead, but in the wrong place, so I kind of missed this. So now I'm going to come back and revisit it. Don't be afraid to session things, because that's how you get good at things. And so when I look at this, I'm like, well, I could go way over to the left and go up that little rock, and then I have very minimal amount of work. But I like a little more challenge. There's a sloped rock right there, and then there's this big rock here. Well, the problem with me going up the big rock isn't so much getting up this, because I can get up this, but I look at what's after it, and then it's kind of that stuff. which isn't going to be very easy to get over. So unless I come at this, go up this big rock and then go to the left, or I can choose to go up this rock, go to the right, or go up the middle. I'm going to opt for the slab that's laying there and go right up the middle. Another thing that's important in this is gear choice. I don't want to be in my easiest gear, but I don't want to be in a hard gear either. So right here, yep, that's probably in a one gear too hard for that, but I got it. Some more rocks to have fun on. Cool. Got another sign. What's this one say? Transitions. What does that mean here? When you see an upcoming climb, shift to an easier gear before the hill and anticipate which gear you need to be in for the climb. I'm actually terrible at that. If there's any skill, that's the one I'm probably not the best at. I try, but I oftentimes find myself in the wrong gear. So what they're talking about is here, I'm looking ahead. You can take this more challenging line. There's a climb up ahead. So they're saying right about here, make sure I anticipate the climb. That also includes raising my dropper, because I had my posts down. They don't talk about droppers in these, probably because these signs are up before droppers were super popular. One other reason you want to be looking forward, this is a shared use trail, so there'll be hikers on it, trail runners, and of course other cyclists, right? So you just want to be aware and looking ahead, and hikers have the right of way. What I've found is almost always hikers will move out of your way before you get there, but they still have the right of way. So make sure you slow way down, give them courtesy. If they move out of your way, thank them, all that stuff. But this one's all faded. Uphill ledges. We're gonna have some of those, more of those coming up. So back to hikers, you definitely want to give them the courtesy, and what I'll do, as soon as I see them, I will slow down or stop and let them know they can come through, because that's just courtesy. And Steve from Hardtail Party, is this the third time I've mentioned that guy? Probably. You'll notice he does that. He always respects the hikers. Shared use trails. Don't be mean. I wanted to say something else, but it's YouTube. So uphill ledges. These things, my experience is to just keep going and trust that your tires will grip. They are intimidating. They look intimidating, but tires generally grip pretty good on that stuff. Rocks, pretty good. Sometimes you gotta really be on your toes to see where the actual trail surface is. Oh, another sign. Let's stop and look at it. That was some fun flow back there. Oh, this is talking about the tree. Yeah, okay. Juniper tree. So these two signs are going to talk about climbing. because there's a big climb ahead. Relax is the most important thing. Breathing. Don't hold your breath. Make sure you breathe and relax, and you'll be just fine. So here we are in the climb. My arms are relaxed. I'm getting into an easy gear. You want to spin and not power really hard. If you find yourself having to like move your upper body a bunch to get your legs around, get into an easier gear. And you can hear me breathing. You hear that on a lot of my videos, because I try to get as much oxygen as I can. Whew, there we go. What is this? Intersection ahead. Okay. These rocks are amazing. Ancient sand dunes. That's not riding education, but good to know. God, this is so fun. Yeah. Woohoo! What's this? Little center. I don't like taking things blind like that, but I finally, once I got close enough to it, I could see what the landing was like. Any more climbing? Ooh. Oh yeah, that's steep. Go, go, go. Almost 4 miles for this loop. Long descents. Long descent right here. Another similar thing. Keep your arms relaxed. Don't death grip the handlebars. If you know, be in that low tack position. Weight your front tire in the turns. Woo. Side hit there. Nice. That was nice and flowy. Still going. Oh, there's why I look ahead. That skid you heard was actually my front tire, because I gave it a lot of front brake. Whew. There's no way I would make that corner at that speed, and no way I would have been able to stop quick enough had I not used heavy front brake. So learn how to use your front brake. Whew. Another little cinder, not very big. Parking lot. There you go, Rustlers Loop. I decided to educate on a trail designed to educate people. I am winded. I need to get a snack. It's only a little over 4 miles, but 4 miles of some pretty rugged terrain. So awesome. Appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace. We'll talk about that bike in another video. It's pretty amazing.